Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I'm a valuation expert witness in St. Louis, Missouri. I have the pleasure of discussing pink-collar crime, fraud, and embezzlement with Kelly Paxton, who is a private investigator and certified fraud examiner in Portland, Oregon, or I just learned, Bend, Oregon. You kind of touched on it a little bit about the pink collar crime and what it is, but I want to go into more depth in it because I think that we don't always understand in this women's role. So pink collar crime that you've already kind of talked about is really women stealing in some capacity or taking money, right?
Well, so I'm known as the fraud hashtag queen. And the reason we talked earlier about this hashtags, I do hashtags so I keep track of what I put out for content wise. But so one of my favorite hashtags is hashtag it's position, not gender. The thing is women are in 90%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, of bookkeeping positions are filled by women. So a man can be a pink collar criminal. It's just women are in the lower level positions. And those are the positions that are in the weeds, and they see every dollar going into a business and every dollar going out of a business. So a man can be a pink collar criminal, but women do it, I'm going to say, more often because they're in the lower level positions, and that's where the money is flowing through a business. So you can have a chief financial officer who literally can't even do a journal entry or, write a check, but every accounts payable or accounts receivable has access to that money. So that's why I say it's position, not gender. And you know what? To be honest, I get women who push back on my title of pink collar crime. They're like, you're picking on women. And I'm like, the bigger issue is the fact that women are in lower level positions. That's an issue that I can't fix. I did not come up with the term pink collar crime. It actually was popularized in 1989 by Dr. Kathleen Daly. And that was the definition: low to medium level employees, who's primarily women, who steal from the workplace. And so I didn't make it up, but it's stuck. It's just I've tried to say I'm the embezzlement expert, but people I have a woman who she'll tag me on social media and she's like, hey, Pink, what do you think about this story? So I can't get away from it. But that's the other thing is at the core of me, I really believe that good people make bad choices. And we worked a case where a woman stole over $100,000 from her kids' own school. And the detective who worked the case with me, she said it was one of the saddest days of her law enforcement career was arresting this woman. And I think I'm kind of here to break the stereotype of criminals. We grow up saying bad guys. We also, when you were little, or if you have children, you tell your kids, if you get lost in the store, look for the nice lady to help you find me. And if a bad guy comes up, run or scream. Just because someone looks nice doesn't mean they can't steal. So I kind of am breaking the stereotype, but not in a bad way, because the fraud triangle, people have pressures. And with COVID, the pressures are we've never seen pressures like this. So fraud's going to increase.
But let's go back, because I think it's an interesting point, because most people, I think, have this perception that if let's say somebody's stealing from a company, embezzling from a company, their first thought may be, well, it's the president, it's the vice president, it's the officers, it's the this. But the reality is, like you just pointed out, is that it's typically those people are just sort of randomly maybe they're probably not even signing checks. They're probably just, and they might not even look at it. You might have a CFO or something. It's really the people that are handling the checks coming in, they're processing it and putting it in. And that's where we get to kind of an accounting term, which is separation of duties. And everybody's like, oh, why does everybody talk about separation of duties? That's so ridiculous. But it's because in a lot of these smaller businesses, family businesses, they're going to be really particular about hiring an accounting firm, right? That's we got to make sure that accounting firm. But the reality is they're not going through the same level of detail when they're hiring the internal bookkeeper or the cousin's brother's sister's daughter that took an accounting class and she's going to, handle the books. Like, let's talk more about the profile, not just women and men, not just gender, but the typical profile of somebody who does commit some fraudulent act. Are they hardened criminals that have been doing this forever?
No. So according to the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners, only 4% of fraudsters have a criminal history. Another statistic, and statistics in white collar crime are really, really messy. If you have a murder, you have a dead body. But if you have a white collar crime, you might have, financial statement fraud or embezzlement or wire fraud. It's really, really messy. And they say only 15% of all embezzlement cases get turned over to law enforcement. There's lots of reasons for that. The number one reason is shame and humiliation. I can show you business owners all day long who are embarrassed by the fact that they didn't see it. I tell this story a lot, and it's a colleague of mine, and she was doing an investigation for a business. She dumped all the data, and then the business owner said, okay, I'll tell you who has what responsibilities. And he goes around, and he's like, okay, this person. He gets to his administrative assistant, and he says to my friend, he goes, oh, don't look at anything Sally does. She's too stupid to steal from me. Guess who stole? Mm-hmm. Sally. Now, if I were there, I would have said, Sally, let's go to Neiman Marcus, and I'm going to really show you how to steal. So, I'm being very facetious, but that sort of attitude, it never, ever gives a person a reason to steal. But again, you have the fraud triangle with opportunity, pressure, and rationalization. You're giving them rationalization. So most fraud professionals will say the thing you control for is opportunity. That's the easiest thing to control for. You put internal controls in, you button everything down, but
put cameras in. Yeah, all of the things that people know, right?
Yeah, but rationalization, if you treat your employees like she's too stupid to steal from me, again, never a reason to steal, but you're chipping away at what their loyalty to you. And the rationalization becomes much, much easier.